Hey guys, Morgan's Maintenance, episode 75 of Guess the Trade. That's where subscribers send in pictures of their loadouts. We take a look at those, and then we see if we can guess what it is that they do in the comment section below. But before we get into episode 75, let's go back and look at episode 74. The first loadout we looked at was Gabriel M. and his Knipex bag. Lots of nice tools. I don't think we've seen that Knipex bag before on the channel. Well, what was it that he did with those tools? He said that he was an industrial maintenance tech. He told me that in an email. He said he kind of just started and was working in a bakery as industrial maintenance. So that's what he does with his tools. Appreciate you, Gabriel, for sending those in. The next loadout that we looked at was in Klein. He had a Tough Built tote, lots of nice tools also inside of there, and a Tough Built pouch. It was really crammed full. The last picture kind of gave it away as we saw some lockpick stuff. That made a lot of people start guessing as far as what it was that he did. He did answer on a couple of different comments that he was a commercial and residential locksmith. So that's what In McLean did with his tools. So appreciate both of you sending your loadouts. Really great time looking at those. Well, today we're also going to look at two loadouts. The first one we're going to look at is Justin Martin, and then we're going to go over and look at Champ Blaze. So we've got a Veto Tech LCT and then also a Klein Modbox stack that we're going to look at today. So first one we're going to get into is Justin Martin and his Veto Tech LTC. We've only got 5 pictures, so it's not going to take long to go through his, but let's check out his tools and see if we can guess what it is that he does. So first picture, we're looking at the Veto Pro Pack again, Tech LCT. Here is the outside of that bag. We'll move on to the next one. And here we can see it opened up. Lots of nice tools in there. Looks like he's got some Klein pass-through screwdrivers, Klein multi-screwdrivers, some Vera stuff as well. Lots of Knipex, it looks like. And then as far as that background, you can see a lot of pipe bollards. It's kind of got the industrial feel back there, so maybe that will help you in your guessing as well. So you can see all those. And this bag really, in my opinion, looking at it here, it looks like a very big version. I've not seen an LCT in person, but it looks like a big version of the MCT. So maybe the MCT stands for medium, and then as far as the M goes, and then the LCT is large, because the setup looks very similar. It just looks like a little bit bigger bag. So we'll move on to the next one. On the other side over there, looks like he's got some vessel tang through. I like that. Some Vera Zyklop, fluke meter, Klein testers, Klein pliers, also a MC cutter right there as far as taking the outer sheathing off. Pica pencil, some scissors up inside of there as well. So moving on to the next picture. So here's all his pliers and screwdrivers. We've got Stability torpedo level. I don't have that one. I actually have thought about getting it a time or two. Klein nut drivers. Those are also passed through because I can remember seeing it back in his first picture there that it had the pass-through top on it. Knipex, the cutters, he's got the 250s. Those things are amazing. I've always said if they fit in it, they will cut them. Klein 15-in-1, also a slotted screwdriver from Vera and Klein. Also a couple other Kleins. That one Klein, the third one to the left over here, that is that adjustable length, the older style. That's the very first handle of Klein that I bought where you could kind of put your own stuff in. And that's kind of what made me start thinking about whenever I get handles that have that 1/4-inch drive, what else can I do with it? And I start doing things because I used to buy those handles and put my conduit reamer, all kinds of things in it just to have a different handle that I could swap stuff in and out and use bits. Saves so much room than having 15 handles in your screwdriver case or in your tool bag. So I really like that. He's got the other handle that goes with it as well. He's also got the Klein 7-in-1 flip socket. Going on down, he's got the Klein cable cutters, Knipex step cuts. Couldn't think of the name of that for a minute. I don't know if those are Knipex diagonals or if those are Weehaw. They got a little bit different look than what mine had, but it could be just a different size. Also a pair of 125 on the pliers wrench. I'm going to assume they're Knipex based on all the rest of his tools are, but they could be Weehaw. And then he's got the cable cutters, the Knipex lineman pliers, the electrical installation pliers, and then also the larger pair of the 250 on the diagonals on the Knipex. And then we go down. So those are probably like flush cuts more so than diagonals, that little pair. Maybe they are Knipex. I don't have a pair that's that size. Klein, bigger strippers as well, along with that crimper, the made in the USA. He's got a small precision Klein driver, forged wire strippers from Knipex, and then a pair of 250, couple pairs of Cobras, one chrome, one not, and then a pair of the 250 pliers wrench and a Klein torpedo level as well. Looks like the Klein level takes batteries. Is it a just one that lights up? Maybe, I think. I don't remember them having a digital version in as far as Klein goes. So maybe that one just lights up or something like that. I don't think I've seen it either. I haven't checked. Maybe Lowe's carries the Klein levels now. My Home Depot never really had much in the way of the Klein levels back whenever they were out, or that might not even be Klein. I'm just assuming that because it's orange and your other tools have been Klein. But let me know what your level does. Is it a light up level, digital level? Let me know that. Move on to the next picture. So here we've got a file. We've also again got that MC cutter, a fluke meter, 323, I think is which one that one is. I didn't know if I'd be able to read that or not. Klein, as far as the circuit tracer, 1505 on the Milwaukee flashlight. He's got a Klein flashlight above that one. And a Klein non-contact voltage tester. Klein conduit reamer, 11-in-1 impact. Center punch, Cyclops. Again, the 2-vessel tang through screwdrivers. My number one runners in my pouch. Use those two screwdrivers right there, the red and the orange one, that or red and yellow, red and orange. Kind of looks more orange to me than yellow, but it's kind of an in-between type thing. By far my favorite screwdrivers. Use those all the time. Also has the Klein tape measure. I kind of want your feedback on that, Justin. I've got mixed reviews, but I also noticed Klein has a couple different versions of tape measures as well. So maybe one's better than the other, because some people say they don't like them at all. Some people actually love them. So let me know what you think about your Klein tape measure. And then he's also got Klein Lyman's and then Klein needle nose over there as well. Back out and go on to the next picture. Actually, that is the last picture. So again, there is the back side of his bag, all that testing equipment as far as his meter and the Klein tester. And then there's all the hand tools that he's using outside of his Tech LCT. So pretty nice bag, and he doesn't have it overloaded because he's got pretty much all the same kind of stuff that I would put in my Tech MCT, and it was a little bit snug. So I think that bag is probably a better option if you don't want your stuff just crammed full where you're digging through stuff. So here is one side of the bag loaded out, and then there is that other side of the bag, and then there's that very first picture of the outside of the Veto Tech LCT. But that sums up Justin Martin's loadout. Only 5 pictures, but it's really all we needed to see. You got to see the outside of the bag, what it looks like. You got to see both sides opened up with tools in it. In case you're looking into that bag, you kind of get to see it loaded out. That's pretty helpful. And then we got to see all the tools that were in the bag. I already know what Justin Martin does. He told me in his email, so I'm not going to give any kind of hints or any kind of a guess. But I saw some tools in there that I think it makes it fairly obvious what kind of field he's in, just because most people don't carry those tools unless they're in this field. Now, every now and then you might have somebody else that's not specifically in that field carry those, but for the most part, that's what it is. But don't forget to guess what it is you think Justin Martin does in the comments below, or maybe you've got a question about the Tech LCT, ask that as well, or maybe there's a tool that you saw that you want to know. Maybe he'll help us out with that. So don't forget to guess. Appreciate you, Justin, for sending your loadout. Well, the second loadout that we're going to look at is Champ Blaze. He's got a Klein Modbox stack that we're going to look at. So not a tool bag, but a Modbox stack. A lot of people ask me all the time because I've got some Klein Modbox, but I've also pretty much run Milwaukee Pack out. Hey, which one would you prefer if you got one? Those kinds of things like that. So I think it's good to be able to see a Klein Modbox stack loaded out, so maybe you can get an idea of what you could put in that if you're interested in doing those things. But that's what we're going to look at next is his. So let's check out Champ Blazed Klein Modbox. So first picture, we're looking at the outside. So he's got a organizer on top. He's also got the 3-drawer. He's got the single drawer, and then he's got the rolling box with the double drawer down there. Some stickers on there. The main one that you want to look at right there, Morgan's Maintenance, looks nice. And if any of you want any stickers and you haven't got any, all you got to do is email me your address, like exactly whatever needs to be on the envelope. Just put it on there and I'll send you out some stickers. American flag transplants, he's got some marked out, so they must say something and he didn't want that to be shown. So there's the front side of that. I'm a big sticker person as well, so good to see those. We'll move on to the next one. So this is that organizer on the top. So this is his hardware, and as you see this, it should be like already in your mind maybe what it is that he's doing. He's got washers, nuts, unistrut stuff, all kinds of stuff in there, sleeves. So that's what's in his hardware box. We'll go on to the next one. Open up the drawer. We do see some of these tools a little bit later. I scrolled through to see if he pulled some out, but I don't know that we see all of them, so I will spend some time looking at these pictures. So he's got some Allen keys, like a folding DeWalt set, along with the tape measure, magnetics parts tray, right angle adapter from DeWalt, along with several different Malcos and nut drivers, Klein screwdrivers, Milwaukee, a couple other older style, looks like almost an old Craftsman right there in the middle. It's made in the USA. I think that's a Craftsman. Just some other stuff, painter's tool, and then lots of Pittsburgh wrenches over there. We'll move over on the next one. So here are some snips, shears, locking pliers, some other metal tools as far as bending and stuff like that as well. Some different clamping tools, lots of those right there in the middle. And then over here we've also got jab saw, diagonals, scissors, all kinds of cutting tools and locking pliers basically in that drawer. Here we've got notepads, pencils, lots of bits and stuff as well. Bosch Blaze as far as the laser distance measure, non-contact voltage tester from Klein. There's some socket sets. Almost kind of look like the Makita rails, but they're black, so I know that's not what they are, but it's something similar to it. Klein flip socket, center punch. He's also got a Milwaukee torpedo level, and then also a Raptor. I've not heard of the Raptor one before, but it looks like it's USA as well. It's CNC machined aluminum. I don't know. I've not seen that one, so I'm not sure who makes that exactly. And then we've got over there, it looks like a flashlight and also a ratchet. I don't think I missed anything there. We'll move on to the next one. Here we've got headlamp. Looks like he's running DeWalt as far as his impact and drills and all those things. He's probably also, it looks like a glasses case. Maybe he's got safety glasses, and then a Voyager bag. And maybe again, I know we see some stuff out. I'm not sure exactly what we see a little bit later because I don't look at these really crazy ahead of time. So Milwaukee bit set with drill bits, nut drivers, bits. He's also got some drill bits in there inside of a case. He's got the Klein Modbox with the flip sockets as far as the SAE sizes, and then he's also got some tape, some 5/32 screws up there, it looks like. Let's see, some gloves, several things within that drawer there. Here's the bottom drawer. So we've got a 12-piece 3/8 socket set from Milwaukee. There's where he keeps his hammers, his bandsaw, caulk gun, so all the bigger tools inside that little bit bigger drawer right there. Also a extra battery from DeWalt. Looks like a dustpan over here, so that might throw you off on what it is that you might have been thinking that he did. And now you see that dustpan, you're like, I don't know. I was thinking maybe an electrician, but now I see a dustpan, so he might be something else. So he's got that there. We'll move on to the next one. So here's where some of the tools are out. Again, I don't think we see everything. He didn't pull everything out of his drawers, but I think some of the hand tools that were kind of wedged in there. So Quinn painter's tool, Stanley Fat Max. That's probably, whenever I ask people what's your favorite tape measure, that's always seems to be the one that gets the bulk of the this is my favorite one, is the Stanley Fat Max. I like them. I actually have kind of grown to really like the Irwin, the blue ones. They're probably my current favorite right now, but they used to sell them at Lowe's and now they don't, so I'm probably going to have a hard time getting them later. But the Stanley Fat Max are good tapes. Lots of step bits, DeWalt right angle, 9/16 as far as a impact socket. The fact that he has that on there specifically and leaves it on there, that should tell you a little bit of something. He's got some Malcos there, some bit drivers. There's a file, also a Milwaukee slotted, Craftsman slotted. It was a Craftsman screwdriver, I was thinking it was. And then there's the flip socket and the impact 11-1 ratcheting. Moving on down, there's again all his wrench sizes. He's got let's see, those are all SAE. Those are all SAE. So he's got ratcheting wrenches, SAE, flex head ratcheting wrenches, SAE, and then just standard wrenches, SAE as well. We'll move on to the next one. So here's all the pliers and things that are out. So we've got all the snips up at the top, greens and reds. And then it's also some straights there from Milwaukee. And then we've got some scissors, some bigger scissors. I think that red tool there, that's a zip tie tool as well. Milwaukee needle nose, Pittsburgh flush cuts or diagonals. Milwaukee jab saw that takes the sawzall blades. Crescent wrenches, and I can actually say crescent wrenches with those because, again, that's what I call every adjustable wrench is a crescent wrench, the same as I call most tongue and groove pliers channel locks, even though that's kind of changed over to I call them all Cobras now. But that's the case on the crescent wrenches. I always call them crescent. So at least whenever I say that on his, it's actually what they are. some punches, some benders, also some clamps as far as C-type clamps, and then locking pliers. He's got some from Klein, some from Bremen, let's see, Milwaukee ones, vice grip ones. He's got tons and tons of those, so he uses those quite a bit. And then he's got the Irwin vice grip Cobras is what I'm going to call them, but actually I'll just call those tongue and groove pliers, I guess. He's got multiple sizes of those as well. Those actually aren't that bad because they got that same kind of teeth, not so much the teeth, but the angle and that little S that's in there. Basically, if they're a straight jaw, I don't really care for them, don't like them. Most of the pliers that are like that, that have that kind of S in it, they tend to work better for my kind of work, so that's what I like. But he's got the Irwin version, and again, those are actually fairly good for the most part. We'll move on to the next one. So here is headlamp. He's got, I'm not sure on the brand on that. All I can read is headlamp everywhere and LED. Also, again, running DeWalt on the impact, and then on the hammer drill, safety glasses. So that was probably what was in that case. Pop rivet gun, duck knife, and then also we've got combination type square as well. And then there's some more hardware as far as probably his pop rivets and all that kind of stuff like that. We'll move on to the next one. So there is his bandsaw. Also a pipe shrinker is what I call it. Also a like fin type tool. It's the socket set. Big clamp right there. More locking pliers, caulk gun, pry bar, square, all that kind of stuff. So he's got all those. And then there's his name. So there's the bottom drawer of his stack. There is his power tools and headlamp and rivet gun. There's all his cutting tools and some of his locking pliers, and then also those Irwins. There's some wrenches and screwdrivers and bits and all those things there. And then now we'll go back through looking at how it was stacked out. So he's got, again, multiple drawers. And again, I feel like the drawers are the way to go on a stack. If you're going to run a stack, I would think that the drawers would just make your life so much easier because you basically have access to all those things without having to unstack it. And then again, there is his hardware box right there. That might tell you more than anything. And then there's that very first picture of his entire stack. But a really great look into that Klein Modbox stack from Champ Blades. Appreciate you sending in your loadout. Lots of great stuff there. You might be leaning one direction whenever you first start looking at it, but then towards the middle, I feel like you shift over to something else. I could see two possible guesses on his. I'm interested to see what the guesses are. Again, I kind of know, so I'm not going to make any hints or guesses. Lots of great stuff in there. Appreciate Champ Blaze and Justin Martin, both of you, for sending in your loadouts. Don't forget to guess on both of them in the comments what it is that you think they do. Maybe you've got questions for them about the Modbox, the Veto Pro Pack LCT. Drop those down below as well. As always, I hope this video was helpful. You guys stay safe. Have a blessed day. I'll see you on the next video.